Manchester United, the Red Devils, England's most successful club and one of the most storied and valuable teams in the game. United have been a dominant force both domestically and abroad for decades, and some of the world's greatest names have passed through the Old Trafford doors. Man U have become known for their rapid, attractive, and attacking style of play over the years. It fits that many of the most iconic players in United history have propagated that tradition through the decades. With the number of incredible names that have turned out in the United shirt and just 3 slots to choose from, more than a couple legends will undeservedly miss out. That being said, these are the icons of Manchester United. Sir Bobby Charlton is one of the most legendary figures in United history and a cornerstone of the club's story. His story is a long and nearly unbelievable one. A Manchester United player since the age of 15, Charlton was one of the famous crop of Busby babes put together by Matt Busby as he attempted to rebuild the club post-World War II. A prodigiously talented attacking player, Charlton helped United win a league title in his first professional season, but less than a year later, he was involved in one of the most tragic incidents in footballing history. In 1958, Charlton was one of 44 passengers on a flight back from a European Cup trip to the former Yugoslavia following a match against Red Star Belgrade. A 3-0 win saw the team in good spirits on the way back to England, but a refueling stop in Munich changed everything. On takeoff, the plane clipped a fence, tore through a house, and was cut in half by the crash. 23 lives were lost in the horrific accident, with 8 United players in that number. Charlton was the most high-profile of the players who survived the tragedy, and understandably, it took United some years to rebuild. 5 years after the accident, United won their first FA Cup on Charlton's 3rd try. From there, he helped lead the Red Devils to 2 league titles in 3 years. In between those titles, he was part of the team that carried England to their greatest ever triumph, as they won the 1966 World Cup, and he went on to pick up the Ballon d'Or. In 1968, 10 years after the Munich disaster, Charlton scored a double to push United past Benfica 4-1 and lift the European Cup for the first time in history. It was a pivotal and emotional moment for United that can't fully be described. From 1973 to 1984, Charlton bounced between coaching, commentating, and playing before finally accepting a position on United's board in 1984, where he's been ever since. He served as a director since 2014 and helped oversee United's return to Europe.
Sir Bobby Charlton, OBE, CBE, Ballon d'Or winner, which means he was the best player in the world that year, World Cup winner, he was a monumental part of that team, European Cup winner with Manchester United. I'm unlucky that I wasn't able to watch him while I was growing up, but I hear so many stories about him from every Manchester United fan that I know, including my dad, who actually sat me down and forced me to watch videos of this man's ferocious left-footed and right-footed shot from outside the box. So that is why he gets in the list.
So much of the mythos of Manchester United is born out of the Busby babes and also the Munich tragedy. And Sir Bobby is an emblem of both of those, not only as a survivor of the Munich plane crash, but as also a key player in that side that went on to lift the European Cup under Sir Matt Busby.
Since Sir Bobby Charlton, United have had a number of England's best come through their ranks, but Paul Scholes stands on top of the pile. Players like Brian Robson, Gary Neville, David Beckham, and Wayne Rooney have written incredible stories in the United shirt, but the little ginger midfielder splashed the pages of United's history with color. The most decorated English footballer of all time, Scholes is one of the most successful footballers in history. Over his 2-decade career, he won 25 trophies, featuring 11 Premier League titles and 2 Champions Leagues. A technically brilliant player, Scholes could play tiki-taka with the best of them, then turn around and ping an 80-yard long ball on a dime without blinking twice. Known for his range of passing, his crashing long-range goals, and his tenacity on both sides of the ball, Scholes was the perfect complement to Roy Keane and United's midfield during the height of their powers. Barcelona legend Xavi Hernandez called Scholes the best central midfielder I've seen in the last 15-20 years, while arch-rival and Arsenal legend Thierry Henry called him the greatest player in Premier League history. Scholes joined up with United as a 14-year-old. He wasn't part of the fabled '92 team that won the FA Youth Cup, featuring future fixtures like Beckham, Nicky Butt, Neville, and Ryan Giggs, but he'd go on to form the core of United's midfield for years to come. Scholes' first team debut came in '94, when he scored both goals in a 2-1 League Cup win over Port Vale. Over the next couple years, Scholes' playing time slowly increased and he won 2 league titles on the bounce. It was a Roy Keane injury that saw him move into the center of midfield, and then Scholes' career took off. He submitted a first-team spot, and after a disappointing trophyless season, he anchored midfield alongside Keane and helped United bludgeon their way to a historic treble. The rest is history. Scholes went on to make the 3rd highest number of appearances by any player for the club. stepping on the pitch in a Red Devils shirt a staggering 718 times. After announcing his retirement in 2011 and taking a coaching position with the club, an injury crisis in United's midfield prompted Scholes to lace the boots back up in January of 2012. He made 21 total appearances on the season, managed to score for the 19th consecutive year, and helped take United to the Premier League title, Sir Alex Ferguson's final win before his retirement. The perfect end to a nearly perfect career.
Paul Scholes, another member of the famous class of '92. This guy was a midfield general, the best midfielder I've ever watched play the game. His passing range was second to none. Long passes, short passes, left foot, right foot. He had an exceptional shot from the edge of the box, 35 yards out. He's hitting the top corner with such pace, such power, such precision.
Definitely the most gifted English player of his generation. His passing, his vision, just a joy to watch.
Through the years, United have seen some of the cream of the crop of attacking players. Dennis Law, Eric Cantona, and more recently Wayne Rooney have all made massive entries in the annals of the club's history, but no one can touch Ryan Giggs' pedigree. He's the most decorated footballer in history, and he won every single one of those trophies in a United shirt. During his time at the club, Giggs picked up a staggering 34 trophies with United, including 13 Premier League titles and 2 Champions League trophies. He made over 1,000 appearances for the club and still holds the Premier League record for most assists, with 271. Giggs was the only player to play in each of the first 22 seasons of the Prem, as well as the only player to score in each of the first 21 seasons. When it comes to longevity and quality over time, there are only a handful of players in history who can come close to being mentioned in the same breath as Giggs. There's no denying the impact George Best had for United, but in the face of Giggs' contribution, the Welsh wing wizard has to win out.
Ryan Giggs, the Welsh wizard, one of the famous class of '92 members.
There's probably no player more synonymous with the most successful era in Manchester United's history. 13 league titles, 2 Champions Leagues, handfuls of other trophies. He's probably had the best career of any Manchester United player.
As England's most successful club, United have seen a plethora of world-class players come and go. There have been many iconic figures over the years, but none more iconic than Sir Bobby Charlton, Paul Scholes, and Ryan Giggs. Plenty of other players have an argument to crack the top echelon, but the contributions these three have made to United can't be debated. Agree or disagree? Come on, you Reds.